Hey, what's the matter with your afro, Negro? That shit won't even grow. Look at mine, oh so fine. I comb it all the time. Come and get your love. Come and get your love. Yeah, you did. My video is under review. Didn't know what I said about George Foreman. Yeah, they didn't like what I said about George Foreman. I don't care. Yeah. Greetings, salutations. Y'all come on in. Thanks to Lindsay. Who cares? Mhm. Yeah, I think the pot is called. Ah, that's rain. I don't even. Y'all come on in. Come on in. Yeah, don't mind me. Greetings and salutations. I am on time. I am right on time. I had to. I'm waiting for the chief of security to come in because if I was late, I would have blamed it on my chief of security, right? But um, I will also blame it on the fact that I had to put up my video on George Foreman. Um, I had to put up on my video. At least I'm not the blame thing. No, no, no. Tonight it was chief of security. Then it was George Foreman because George Foreman died, and I don't think no. This is not the airport. This is not the airport. I don't care. So I was really uploading a video um, telling me how heartbroken I am over the death of George Foreman. Yeah, I am just broke up over the death of George Foreman. One less Trump supporter. One less Trump supporter. I don't think people realize how petty I am. When do you want me tomorrow tonight? You can you can bounce back and forth. I don't think I'm gonna say anything. I'll let you know if somebody appear that needs to be kicked out or somewhere else. You all right, Jay? Yeah, yeah. George Foreman was a Rocky Raccoon homophobic bastard. Yeah, I don't care. He supported Donald Trump. All of his accomplishments. I hope the ancestors are judging him harshly right now. Yes, I said what I said. Feel about it where you said. This not the airport. Not the airport. I don't care. Yep. TNathan, I hope you are. I am well. Can I get an additional 70 million takeout? Look, George Foreman died, and yeah, he was 76 years old. Yeah, he's 76 years old, and you missed him. He literally dragged Colin Kaepernick and Kevin Durant. He was on Fox all the time talking about how Colin Kaepernick was unpatriotic. And yeah, fuck George Foreman. How did he die? I don't know. I didn't even take the time to look. Yeah, I was just celebrating his death. Yeah, one less Trump supporter. Yeah. I never forgave him for what he did. I was like, when he texted me, I said, wow. I was like, I get to talk about George Foreman being dead. Yep. Yep. I don't know. Y'all find out to let me know. I don't. I should have known and put it in the video. Yeah. Uh, I should have put it in the video. Maybe, just maybe. I'll do another. I'll do a follow up later. How are you all doing tonight? Yeah. See, Don was going to. Don was playing Call to Duty, right? So I was in Don's live hanging out watching Call to Duty. And I was all prepared to blame Don for me being late to my show. Yes, my chief of security. I was over supporting him in his live while he played Call to Duty. And I was going to blame him for me being late to my show. Then I had to make a quick video. So, yes. And, and you better hurry because I think. If you're a fan of I think my video is already. Is it under review? They let it go. It was under review. So yeah, I had to make a video. and I'm about to write an appeal. Yeah, my last every video I post is under review. The one I posted on Donald Trump claiming that he didn't he didn't enact the he did not enact the Alien Enemies Act. It's literally his signature is on the proclamation in the National Registry. That's under review too, so it is what it is. One is this one is on me. Now, Jay, this one was a celebration of one less Trump supporter. Yep, one less Rocket Raccoon as Trump supporter. That's why if I was late, but I'm still on time. If I would have been late, that would have been the excuse. But I got the video made and it was posted by 10:01. Okay, so how y'all doing tonight? Everybody all right? Everybody all right? How y'all feeling? Y'all feeling all right? Listen, so you know that the did y'all hear the video that the billionaire Secretary of Commerce Zutnik said, where he said that the only people who will be complaining if they didn't get their Social Security check right away would be fraudsters. He said because his mother is 94, and if she didn't get her Social Security check, she would just think it was a glitch in the system, and she wouldn't complain the first month. Think about that. The man is worth between $2 billion and $4 billion, and his mother's getting Social Security, and you like she didn't complain that she didn't get her check. Because the only people that would be complaining about getting their money that they put into a system that all of a sudden they're not getting is fraudsters. The majority of people thought this was a source of income, and yes, they would be bitching. Yeah, it's not even just the majority of the people. It's your money. It's your money, and some people live on a fixed income. Yeah, you're equating the mother of a billionaire not getting her Social Security check to Sergeant Powell that lives down the street with one leg because he lost it in Vietnam, not getting his Social Security check. Yeah, the idea that that is where we live is hilarious to me. Hilarious. And let me see. Let me see. Did I want you all to hear him because it was like he was saying it, and I was like, "Are you all serious, or is this just for show?" But people serious. He seriously said it. Like I say, he's worth billions of dollars. Let me see if I have the video. Have the video. I'm gonna play the video for you all because you can't make this up. You literally cannot make this up. Boom, 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 boom. Dum, 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 dum. Dum, dum. Hold tight. Dun, dun, dun. Yep, that's me. Yeah, I can't send it. I'm live. Oh no, guess I don't have my share on. Yeah, damn. I wanted you all to see it. Yeah, here it is. I really want y'all to see it, but I don't think I'll be able to send it. Okay. Well, anyway, yeah, he is sitting here talking about his billionaire ass, and he can't send it. The whole music on TNathan. I had too many screens. That's the thing. I got so many screens, and I'd be like, this is insane how they think of their lack of empathy. This isn't a joke. This isn't a joke, and this is what they remind us that 79 million people voted for. This is what they voted for, right? And I hope they all burn in hell. Yeah, it's not even. It's not just the theft. It's not. Listen, listen. It's not that they stealing directly. They just don't care if somebody else is stealing and keeping it from the people it belongs to, as long as they're billionaires. They don't care. I don't think Lucknick is literally in the Social Security Administration stealing money. He doesn't have to. When you control that many resources, you don't have to. You don't have to steal. Donald Trump doesn't steal because he has to steal. They misappropriate funds to enrich each other. But at the end of the day, it's the idea that I'm seeing so many poor people capping for Elon Musk, the same people that George Soros was the enemy of because he was a billionaire and he was funding, they said he was funding everything from research into eating children into all kinds of Pizzagate and all that. Elon Musk isn't even hiding the fact that he's supporting candidates that support their view. He's giving the maximum amount to people who are trying to impeach judges that are standing against Donald Trump. He was raffling. He was doing making people instant millionaires in a voting raffling scheme, and nobody has done anything about it, by the way. And it's just the idea. It is hilarious. I need to know if the one leg sergeant has a sailboat also. Yeah, the one leg sergeant probably has another sailboat. Yeah. So yeah, there's a lot. I I know I gotta keep it. I'm just in my comment section. That's another thing. I'm in my comment section on my video on George Foreman, waiting for people to get cussed out. Yeah, I'm waiting for people to stumble in there and I cuss them out. Let's see. All right, Robert doesn't get cussed out. Well, now that I know, I will govern myself accordingly. Will bypass any post. Right. Oh, right. You all did not know George Foreman was a whole ass Rocky Raccoon. Y'all didn't know George Foreman was a Rocky Raccoon. Are we for real? I never understood simping for, and it's like there, it's character also. Biffy, let me say that it is character because there's like Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett gives back. I mean, Warren Buffett gives back. If you might not like the way people think that Bill Gates has ulterior motives for giving away billions of dollars, he probably does. But at the end of the day, those billions of dollars do help people. He's drilling wells, and I know, and I mean, I'm not stupid enough to think people don't have a quid pro quo, but his quid pro quo of building a market for Microsoft in Africa, it comes with food. It's not like it's a quid pro quo of just usury. He's building a quid pro quo as a name recognition for Microsoft. But he has literally did that with half of his net worth, and that is a substantial amount. And it goes towards things like healthcare and water and putting people, black women, into businesses. So, it's not a quid pro quo if he's saying, well, I'm going to use you, misuse you. It's a quid pro quo of saying, hey, I'm Bill Gates. I'm with Microsoft, and how can I help? And of course, and don't tell me you sit around and don't appreciate people's help. And we might not, if we can return the favor, we will. That's fine. There are no chains involved. There's no requirement of quid pro quo either. It's just like it's a sense of obligation that you might have. If you don't have it, fine. He's not going to sit and do like I've seen people do and say, well, if you don't quid pro quo me, you can't eat. Like I've seen ministers do at homeless shelters when people don't want to pray. It's not that. Like it if you're not to, but we can't act like we live like this unrealistic idea that people have that we don't live in a real world. I can live with Bill Gates and what he does. I can live with that. People are not dying because of it in mass quantities. Like we're watching tens of thousands of children in the Congo are going to die in the next few months because this administration has dismantled U.S. aid that supplies 70% of the charitable aid to Congo. And into that space has stepped Warren Buffett and Bill Gates to make sure children, black children, are not dying at the alarming rate. I can live with that. We can deal with that. I'm sorry. because I'm a practical realist, and I can deal with that. They're saving children. If they grow up old enough and make enough money and they can buy a Microsoft computer, more power to them. More power to them. At least they're not taking the side of Apple, who is really benefiting from the microrealization that they're trying to hold out and supplying both sides of the revolution of a civil war in Congo and just holding out for whoever wins so they can get more microrealization. So it is what it is. Sound is going in and out. Hey Raven. Raven is here. Yeah, but don't get me wrong. I think most most billionaire white men are problematic as hell. Most billionaire white men are problematic as hell. What's up? How you doing, Raven? I was calling Raven. I was calling Raven. Yeah. So if y'all see anybody in my comment section on my George Foreman video, give them hell. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. They're just gonna be mad at me. They'll live. They need to get in a homemade sub and visit. listen, listen. That's how you can tell, right? Billionaires that spend their money on a homemade to have a risky adventure in a tub. And don't get me wrong. Let me say this. Don't get me wrong. I might talk about I talk about space, but it's not that I talk about it from the point that I wouldn't go. I would love to. I would love to explore. Ever since I was younger, the idea of exploring strange new worlds to boldly go where no man has gone before. Yeah, Gene Roddenberry was one of my favorite authors growing up. The idea of that utopia appeals to me. Yes, I don't mind. I guess when you've dodged bullets when you were younger, going to space is not that doesn't seem that dangerous. I lived this long, it doesn't seem that dangerous. But I have some extra game controllers they can borrow. I would rather go to space than to go to the bottom of the ocean. Yeah, I'll be crazy, right? Yes, I would rather go to space than go to the bottom of the ocean. There's nothing in the Titanic that I feel like I need to see. Estimated delivery 24. Star Trek Voyager was my favorite. Yeah, Captain Janeway. Captain Janeway was my favorite. People think it's Picard. Captain Janeway and Cisco were two of my favorites. Picard is I like Picard a lot, but Janeway was not afraid to disconnect that saucer section from that ship. She was Janeway, and you can tell. This is what I tell you. I've never been like mediocre geeky white boys that only want to see white men in these roles and they get mad when anybody else is in these roles. Janeway was the shit for me. Her and Seven of Nine together, yeah, I was all about that life. And Tuvok, yeah, I was all about that life. I was like, yes. Cisco, yes. The Cisco wasn't afraid to jump in the Defiant and just go through. He don't even know where they going. He's like, they went that way. Cisco, jump on the Defiant. Let's go. Let's go. See, that's like that's why I need a loyal crew, right? We need a loyal crew because we gonna shake some things up. We gonna shake some things up. We might not know how we're gonna get back to the space station, but we know we'll figure it out once we take out the enemy. We're gonna take the enemy out first, and then we gonna make it back. We gonna always make it. Janeway made it from the Delta Quadrant, right? She made it from the Delta Quadrant. Yeah, they, yeah. Captain Kirk, fuck Captain Kirk. If it was left up to me, if I had to depend on Captain Kirk, James James Tiberius Kirk to be the motivation for me watching Star Trek, I would have never watched Star Trek. He was not my motivation. Everybody around him was much better than James. James was who you watch a show and you say, who do you want to fight? James T. Kirk, Tiberius Kirk was who I wanted to fight all the time. And it wasn't because he was a racist or bigot. He was just bad. He's just bad. He always got his crew into trouble and didn't help them get out of the trouble. He wasn't the reason. They came up with all these moves that he did. No, Spock did came up with all these moves. Spock, he wasn't like, yeah, I know. Tonight's Friday. So we're just having a little fun here. Um, Kirk was trash. Kirk was trash. Surprisingly, I'm a Discovery fan, right? Discovery is Discovery. The worst two have been, and I don't really call the original bad because, like I said, it had a dynamic cast around him. Scotty, no matter what he told Scotty, is Scotty said, no matter what he said, John, whatever Bones said, I'm a doctor, not a miracle worker. They were gonna work miracles. And Spock was gonna put you in that mind mill. Yeah. Spock was gonna put you in that mind mill, and Lieutenant LaHure was gonna be contacting and communicating with anybody who could have a voice cord or anything, and she looked good doing it. Yeah, yeah, all of that. Kirk, they just was like, hell, I like the captain of the what was the Orwell better than I like her. Yeah, Scotty was like, we need 100% more power. The engines weren't designed for that, Captain. And he'd go right back there and design them for it. I was like, yes, yeah, yeah. She was my first crush. Don't play with it. Uh, Uhura was your first crush? Yeah, we were all in unison. We joke about my husband's middle name being Tiberius just because it starts with a T. Ah. Yeah, yeah, and then you also to know the story that Dr. King advised her to take the role because she didn't want the role at first as Lieutenant Uhuru, and Dr. King was like, "Yeah, this is a good role for a representative," and she represented. I remember her talking about, and it's like two women, her and Cicely Tyson, right? And I remember them in interviews talking about the roles they would and would not take. Cicely Tyson could have been a much bigger star if she would have compromised her principles. And she said, "No, I'm not taking the role as the mammy, as the maid, as the drug addict. I'm not taking those roles." She didn't, and neither did Nicole. She didn't take those roles, and that in itself cemented their place. And Sidney Poitier, they didn't take these roles that exploited their blackness. They were all. You remember, if you remember the role in Heat of the Night where he slaps the former mayor, that was spontaneous. It was he's and they kept it in there. It was like, yeah, he kept it in there. I saw her from a distance in 2018. She was at she was at Comic Con. Listen, anybody want to send me a donation to go to Comic Con? There's Comic Con this weekend. Comic Con is today, tomorrow, and Sunday, right? And I didn't get to go this year because I had to have other things that I have to take care of. But I was tempted to just drive down there and film some content. I was going to go, but Thomas DeVillen no longer lives near me in Kansas, so we can go everywhere together like that. And yeah, when Sydney was the teacher, I don't remember the name of that movie. To Sir with Love. Yeah. Kirk just slept with the aliens while the crew did. Right. Right. Kirk just Kirk was Don Jr. before Don Jr. was Don Jr. Yeah. Yeah, that was Kirk. That was Kirk. Yeah, we don't care. Yeah. to Sir with Love, to Sir with Love. Guess who's coming to dinner? In the heat of the night, man, Sydney was the man. He was him. Sydney was him, and Denzel Washington kept it going. These are spectacular. This is spectacular. But yeah, I didn't come in here to talk nerd with you all, but y'all appeared to my nerds, and we had to get a little of that in because today is just today. my grandmother had me watching In the Heat of the Night. Man, even the television series, Carol O'Connor and him playing, it's that was good. That was a good pickup. I mean, In the Heat of the Night was a good pickup. The series that was spawned by the Sidney Poitier movie, it was good because number one, Harold Rollins was amazing. Rollins was amazing in that role. We had Anna Marie, she was amazing, and it was so against type for the South. Sparta, Mississippi, and then it was like Sparta, Mississippi does not exist, but Sparta, Mississippi, right? The setting and everything was like perfect fit. Lilies of the Valley, yeah. Blurs are everywhere. Blurs unite. Yeah. It was interesting you mentioned that because I tell people that blurred culture is slightly different from nerd culture. Nerd culture it has rooted in white male nerds. It is not as diverse and encompassing as blurred culture. Blurred culture, we can embrace characters, multicultural characters, genders, and everything. And I'm going to show you how it plays out. If you watch Marvel movies, right? If you look at the Marvel movies and you see how blurred, because let's talk about the box office that Captain America Brave New World with Anthony Mackie has done. And every time you read about it, they always talking, is it gonna make back it's the number one, the production budget was only $180 million. 100 it made that domestically. It's going to clear it is already made its production budget um domestically. The the cost of advertising and all that, it's going to make that international. It's going to rank in the same vein that the other Captain America movies ranked in financially, right? They always compare, well, this came out in 2011 and by this and that. Oh, fuck all that. At the end of the day, Captain America Brave New World was no better, no worse than any of the other Captain America movies. Was it in game or level? No, of course it wasn't. But it was just like Captain Marvel, the Marvel movies, Captain Marvel and the Marvels. Typical, if you read comic books, those are just typical comic book movies. That's it. You can't make 35 movies in the Marvel universe and expect every one of them to be in game, not just for writing, but just for build up. So when you look at blurs and you look at nerds, you know the difference because blurs are like my requirement is to go to the movie and have a good time. I liked I liked I basically like all the Marvel movies as far as comic books wise. I don't go in there expecting Shakespeare. Who people go to blurs all of a sudden go to the movies ex nerds, I mean, they go to the movies expecting a soliloquy. They expect Hamlet to come out if it's anything involved in the movie except centering white males. Tony Stark and Thor are in the same category of ego as Carol Danvers is. They can handle it from white men, they can't handle it from white women. They can't. Yeah, they expect Hamlet. They they couldn't quote to be or not to be. That is the question whether it's noble of the mind to suffer the arrows and slings of outraged fortunes or to raise up and take up arms against that sea of trouble. Ah, in that dream of death. They couldn't get that far into the soliloquy of Hamlet, but they expect Igo to come out there and be holding a skull and talking to it, and also running around in tights and fighting. Yeah, they expect that. That's a level they want when it's a white woman or black people heading a Marvel movie. The reason that Black Panther did so well is because culturally. It wasn't because white nerds were just falling over themselves to go to the movie. It was because we were finally getting a movie of representation. Yeah, and we can do that. They tried to film in Mississippi, but the racist town people ran. Yeah, Sidney Poitier said he wasn't coming to Mississippi no more. Y'all remember that? Sidney Poitier said, "I'm never coming to Mississippi again." Um, right, and it's it. And like I say, that's what you see, and even on like you see on this app. It's like I'm a blur, but I don't find the need to get into it because I know the racial aspects of and the misogyny associated in the nerd community. Because you look at it, like I don't know how many of y'all watch Avatar, but Korra, right? Airbender. And this is what gets me. I was a couple of weeks ago. It was all these men, little boys and men that call themselves, into this, and they were talking. Oh, she was the worst Avatar, and she did this and she did that, and I was like, she was written by a man. So that's what the part. They it was the misogyny associated so deeply ingrained in people that these same people viewed this as they were just projecting their. Because don't get me wrong, that's another thing, blurs. We're not as incel as nerds. We gonna fuck. We fucking something. Yeah, we fucking. But incel nerds, they don't like women characters because they have something against women and girls. They do, and I'm not saying they're not necessarily like they hate them, but they want them to be submissive. And anytime they see women in power, they always will act on that. And so they're talking about Cora like she wasn't written. Like the series is not written by men. So we're not talking about women writing about women. We're talking about men writing about women. So all these mistakes you attribute to this character are written by men. And I always thought that was just so funny. When I was watching all these videos go around and they talk about that, and I was like, yeah, now, yeah. It's like watching white men decide women's reproductive rights. There was 18 senators on a committee determining women's reproduction rights, and none of them were women. As a matter of fact, I think the average age of them was like 63. Yeah, yeah, I know. Cora of all is horrible. I don't think, I'm gonna tell you something else, Don. I don't think so much it is horribly written as that it was intended to be that way. I think Cora's story was intended to be that way because when I look at the date the not the dailies, the write-ups for the new series, I think it was written to be that way because it was a perception. I think Cora's story was not written from the point of view, and we'll find that out later, of the people who were actually there. I think it was a told story in retrospect, and then we're going to find out some new things going into the new series. I, and because at the end of the day, nerds drive their narrative differently than blurs do. Blurs, we understand oppression, we understand a lot of things, and we're not intimidated by women or other characters in fiction. We're not. We're not. We learn to fight. We learn to fuck. We learn to navigate this. Like I told you, I used to carry comic books around in my back pocket while I carried a glicky on my in my back in the back of my pants. Yeah, blurred. Blerd. Add an S to it if you mean more than one. Black nerds. Blurred. Yeah. Yep. That's what it is. Allegedly. Oh no, I got sentenced for that, so we can't allege that one. Yeah, we can't allege that one. That's part of the juvenile record. Listen, you know me. It amazes. Yeah. Look, it comes in handsome times. Yeah, yeah, it does. Alleged for me. As I say, alleged. Yeah, no, they already listen. There are people on this app that have dug up everything. It's so funny to watch people who have, because I wonder how much money. I always wonder when people be digging like the stuff that that I have to validate because it's not on the web, but they have spent money getting things that they could have just asked me about. and paid me a fraction of it. But that's what's so funny to me. These people are so invested in studying my life than cleaning their bathrooms or, you know, keeping their children's mama from going online talking about them being bad parents. If they invested more time in that, yeah, maybe they'd have a life. But no, I do some charity work every now and then, doing my part to keep them happy. I made something for you and my wife. I need your mattress size. Um, queen size, queen size, queen size. Tell my husband I said hello too. Tell my husband I said. Tell my husband that sleeps with you I said hello. You always forget to say allegedly. It's hard. That's why I need a whole team. I need a whole team of lawyers. Look, because the idea, I need a team of lawyers because you all's job is also to realize he's not going to listen. We just must be prepared with a strategy after the fact. Yeah, temporary insanity. Yeah, yeah, y'all figure it out. If you all can defend Bella, y'all have no problem defending me. Y'all should have no problem defending me. Y'all defend Bella. Yeah. Ah, 394 total views. Oh, we doing well. Yeah, tonight I just want to come on and kick the bobo. Like I say, it's fun. We need to do this every now and then because at the end of the day, you know, we could we I just be laughing. Are you all at the point yet where it's not like you're not doing anything about it, but it's like watching Donald Trump today literally say he didn't sign a proclamation after he spent so much time talking about how um, Joe Biden wasn't signing bills. There was the auto. It's just it's at some point it's like yes, the world is going to hell in a handbasket, and we have to fight. But that doesn't mean we can't laugh along the way. Yes, it is funny. It is just funny. So that's the mood I came in. Today I watched Donald Trump say he didn't sign a proclamation that literally is on the National Registry with his big ass Sharpie signature on there, like he's a first grader just learning how to write in cursive, and George Foreman died. So give me a moment. Pinky is innocent until proven guilty. Pinky is going to the Vatican. I heard the Pope is up and about, and he needs to take care of these white people demons. Yep, Pinky doesn't have. I tried all the ancestors. Pinky doesn't have an ancestor demon, and Pinky has baby Jesus type demons. So we need to get her to the Pope. Duh, I got room to roll around, and I don't get free. Yeah. Don't forget, Trump says he wants to take ownership of Ukraine. Right. Another another laughable thing, right? Because this is what gets me. Yeah, because we could do this and laugh. But you remember a couple of weeks ago, President Zelensky in the White House getting jumped on by J.D. Vance and Donald Trump. And, you know, so they come up with this ceasefire deal. You notice that ever since they came up with this ceasefire deal, Putin has been basically upping the bombing of the Ukraine. And Donald Trump comes out and says that Ukraine should give their nuclear power plants to the United States. And I'm like, how does this work? How does this work? You want to say you will protect the nuclear power plants. But what are you going to do with the nuclear power? You can't ship it to the United States. That's not how nuclear power works. What are you gonna do? I just be like, you're gonna sell nuclear power to energy to Russia, who is right there, and they can take these nuclear power plants. I was like, how does this work? That's what's so funny to me. Sometimes even when I'm talking about this stuff, and I be like, Do you all people see how ludicrous this sounds? And it's like, how do you make it work? And the thing is, not that it just sounds ludicrous, but it will happen. We will put soldiers there to protect these things, and people will die, and his supporters will act like the cost of doing business. They will act like it's the cost of doing business. And this is why I want to throw them all into active volcanoes. Activate Pluton. I can't with you. I can't with you. Oh, we're not going to do is pinky slander. Yeah, pinky slander. You can't. You can't do anything about it. You're my lawyer too, so you can talk that. But yeah, you're my lawyer too, so you got to defend me against anything I do to Pinky too. You got to defend me, and you got to stand up for Pinky. Y'all figure it out. I'm gonna continue Pinky slander. Yeah, they will act like another day. I'm come to the conclusion that we are reality TV. Listen, listen. Do you think it's possible that we are? You all remember the series, The Dome, based on Stephen King novel, that they were living under the dome and they didn't know who they got it. But you feel like, yeah, you all are performing for somebody. What? Yeah, that's what we are. Yep, we're under the dome, and nobody gave me the contractual agreement to be under the dome. It's like my bestie say, we live in the upside down of the Twilight Zone. We used to just be like sideways a little in the Twilight Zone. We are fully upside down. And like I say, don't get me wrong. I'm gonna fight, and we're gonna do everything we need to do. But I'm laughing at the ignorance of not the leadership, but that of people who are out here defending the leadership. You just look at them and you be like, this is how I imagine an alien slug would look and act. The man who, the congressman that introduces a bill to make Trump derangement syndrome a mental illness, being arrested for soliciting a minor for that, and he has the nerve to introduce a bill that he wants. You can't make this up. I'm convinced that every MAGA supporter that you see speaking out against the LGBTQ community is just mad that they didn't get it. They don't have a date for the date they wanted in high school or college was not interested in them. They scared. They because listen, Grinder went down at the Republican convention, and Grinder went down at the largest Trump rally. And Grinder is getting worked over. I heard what Don Lemon said. He was out with Bakari Sellers, and they said, "Let's go here to," and he was like, "Nope, I don't want to." He said, Bakari told him, "I'll protect you. You ain't got to worry about them." He said, "I can protect myself. It's not that. It's they're not going to fight. They're going to want to fuck." They sure enough, that's what they were. They were buying Don Lemon drinks and hitting on him, and he was like, "See, I told you." Yeah, I'm convinced. I was like, they mad they didn't get an invite to the party. And if they wasn't so weird, they could get invites to the party. But who's inviting serial killers to parties? You want to have sex with somebody and then kill them afterwards because you don't want anybody finding out you had sex with them. You're weird. You're weird. Active volcanoes. I tell y'all, everybody, all of us need to have um, a trans-dimensional dot we carry around with us that has the opposite side is in an active volcano, so we can just throw them into active volcanoes. Hmm. The world would be a much better place if we all had pocket-sized active volcanoes that whenever some of this weird shit happens, like Anna Rye. She should have had a pocket volcano in her pocket. And when Kevin O'Leary reached over and touched her and then dismissed it like he was doing her a favor, she should have thrown him in the active volcano. One less Trump supporter. I'm all for one less Trump supporter, one at a time. Madison Combs gave us the answer. I need an active volcano in my backyard. No, we need no, 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 no. See, you need one goddess you can carry around in your purse, and you can just pull it up when somebody say something and just push them into it. Yeah, you see, you got to take them home and get them in there, and it might spill out. No, we need a portal to an active volcano that we could just push them in, and we probably have to get multiple ones because we all use the same volcano. It's gonna fill up real quick. We need multiple ones. As a matter of fact, mine needs to let out on the surface of the sun. Yeah, I need mine to. When I push you in it, you need to be on the surface of the sun. And I don't got to worry about it being full. Yeah, surface of the sun. That's I want my active volcano on the surface of the sun. Yep, it's a good idea. I need a portable active volcano. That's it. At this point, Shauna, I don't even care about evidence. I just want them gone. I just want them gone. Yep, I want them gone. I don't want to oppress anybody. I literally want them gone. I just want to be able to when people. Oh, I told you. We're so far. We're at the point where microaggressions should get you gone enough because you're intentionally losing. It's 2025. If you're using a microaggression, you're doing it intentionally. Active volcano. I think I'll be one or two with external hollow. Let's tell you, like, don't get me wrong, that sounds fun, but I don't care. I don't care. I I think we need a purge. I think we, I heard the listen. I heard the best joke today, right? And I'm gonna mess it up, but I'm gonna tell it. You'll get there. So you understand? This guy was talking about the Kennedy Center, and he said the Kennedy Center was named in honor of John F. Kennedy Jr., of John F. Kennedy Sr., because of what happened in Dallas when he was cooked by Lee Harvey Oswald. And trust me, even though they released Social Security numbers and all that, I've read it, and most of what I read doesn't convince me any way, shape, or form that Lee Harvey Oswald did not kill John F. Kennedy Jr. Sorry, conspiracy theories, y'all can. And I also want to say this: at this point in time, it doesn't matter. I don't care who killed John F. Kennedy Jr. I really don't. It's just funny watching people care, like they know enough about history to care. But I don't care if it's some great cabal killing presidents. Where are they now? So I gave away the end of the joke. But anyway, he said that the Kennedy Center was named after John F. Kennedy, and that Trump is probably going to change the name of the Kennedy Center to the um Donald Trump Arts Performing Arts Center, right? And he was like, in light of what happened to the last person this is named after, we should go for it. And he also said we should build centers to Elon Musk and Mitch McConnell and all that. I was like, sounds good to me. It was the driver that did it right. look, look, and there's nothing in it's telling you. And if it's something in there obscure, I didn't even have the care to read. And you all know me, I read everything. Everything that comes out, I read it to laugh at, right? But I read it. I actually got bored of reading the John F. Kennedy files that they hyped up. But we're gonna release stuff you didn't know. I, I knew this in the 70s and I was young. There's nothing new. They included people's social security number, conjecture, and all that. And I was like, so you released a file of conspiracy theories and call that definitive proof. That same thing that happened with the Epstein files. Listen, these people are so basic. That's why I tell you about conspiracy theories, right? I'm like, I don't care unless aliens that have immortal life, eternal life, had something to do with the murder of John F. Kennedy Jr. and they're still around today. I want to talk to them about, hey, let's talk about this immortality you got. I don't care about you killing John F. Kennedy Jr. That's how I feel. When people be doing conspiracy theories and people are like, oh, they following us. I'd be like, what makes you so important that you think the government is spending millions of dollars to track your phone? That's why I be wanting to ask people. Be like, oh yeah, they're no, no. What makes you so important that the government is listening in to your conversation? Listen, listen. Anybody who knows me know I carry around my tracking devices all the time. Except, and anybody know me knows the times when I don't carry my tracking devices because there's some other reason. But yeah, I carry my tracking devices all the time. Yeah, I don't get people like, oh, do you worry about the government looking? I don't care about the government going through my computer history either. I don't care. I don't care. What you gonna find? What you gonna find? I am not looking up ways to poison anybody I know. I know those ways already. It's like you can't find it on my computer. I've been knew that before computers existed. It's like I'm gonna come in and rush and be like, how do I? Yeah, you're gonna get my computer search history involving how do I make an extra dimensional pocket to a active volcano? Yeah, that's what you're gonna get. It's like, am I on? Like I'm using my computer to plot murder. Who does that? Who does that in 2025? It's like the first thing they're gonna come in here and get is the computer. You could not even been doing a computer crime. They just want your computer anyway. Yeah, I don't care. Gotta shut down the gas station. Let y'all know when I get home. All right, Jay, we'll be here till you get home. We'll be here till you get home. They track me and they be scared of me. Look, there's listen. I'm so used to being tracked and looked for. It's natural state. I figure I hear from y'all for 10 years. Y'all not really this good at it. And let me tell you, during the time when I was running from the government and I wasn't hiding. That's the thing that people don't realize. I wasn't hiding so much as like in a, off the people like off the grid in a no. I like the comforts of modern society too much to be hiding in the woods. What I'm supposed to be doing in the woods? Waiting for some inbred family to find me and make me dinner? No, no, I'm not. I'm not going to be killed by the hills have eyes. I'm not. Yeah, I'm not. This not gonna happen. Plus, I'm laying them all down. I'm not. If you come, if I see you and y'all look alike, and you got bumps on the side of your head, and you look like you're inbred, you can be as friendly as you want. I'm laying y'all down. I'm laying you down. But I'm not hiding in those places. So I was like, hmm, I'm medicated crazy, so they can track me. Shit, they can have my bills. That's another thing. And people be like, oh, they gonna steal your identity. Anybody who steals my identity, I guarantee you they will pay me to take it back. Be like, steal my identity. Still, don't care. I don't care. Steal my credit cards. Yeah, all you gonna do is some debt I still owe on my trip to Selma. Yeah, still, yeah. Oh, we got him. We stole his credit cards. Yeah, today is Friday. I have about $57 in my checking account and probably twice that much in a savings account. Right? I don't care. It's, that's what I mean. People be like, I mean, like, what do you all have that China is working so hard to steal? We wonder about, oh, the Chinese, they doing this and doing. Look, what do you all know that I don't know? Like China is really tapping into you all's phone to steal your $500 in your bank account. Is that it? Hell, you got more to worry about than the person sleeping next to you than you do about China. The Chinese are spending billions of dollars to steal your $500. And this is what gets me, right? American supporters believe this. The American people have been trained to believe some of the most outlandish things like they make sense. Like they make sense. I'm gonna pay. I got paid today, and it's all going. I say, still 11:01. Yeah, we gotta wait till Jay get home. We're waiting on Jay to get home. What did you all? Let me see. You're supposed to be watching movies. That's what I meant to see. What movies we watching this weekend? See what we got here. All right. Uh, the reason I've been watching movies because it's like nothing new. We got Duplicity. We got Duplicity. A high-powered attorney face her most personal case yet when she is tasked with uncovering the truth behind the murder of her best friend. With the help of her boyfriend, a former cop turned private investigator, she searches for what really happened, leads her down a treacherous maze of duplicity and betrayal. Huh, sounds like last year on TikTok. Good night, Queen. Good night, Auntie. Talk to you later. Thank you for dropping in as always. I'm humbled and honored to have you here. You have a good night. Yeah, that sounds like any day on TikTok we go. And the reason I'm laughing, right, is because people. It's a Tyler Perry movie. It's a Tyler Perry movie. It's a new Tyler Perry movie, and somebody was talking about Tyler Perry movies and how did I watch Beauty in Black, and it was this and it was that, and I was like, yeah, I don't care. All them people that were in there got paid. I'm all for black people getting paid. We've been watching mediocre whiteness for years, so I can watch I can watch over the top rich black people do camp also. I watched them. Listen, did you think the Rocky Horror Picture Show was just deep? It was campy. And I watched it. As a matter of fact, I'm a Rocky Horror Picture Show fan. If I could watch the Rocky Horror Picture Show, I can watch Beauty in Black. Yep, I sure can. How do you like VA? Oh, I'm getting paid to not come into work tomorrow because my boss fears me for some reason. Yeah, the adoptions were part of the genocide that occurred after boarding schools. Correct. We want to, we want to yeah, kill the savage and keep the man. Yeah, that was their philosophy. That was philosophy. So I don't have anything. Oh, we got a new Law and Order Toronto. Oh, I do have Electric State also. I do have Electric State. I'm gonna have to. Yeah, yep. I'm one of the people that's waiting on the second season of Beauty and Black. It's a nice distraction. Uh, um, Find Me. I Love You Forever. Here Be Dragons. I don't know. If y'all have anything y'all want to see, yeah, if you have my number, text me and I'll look for it. Really, right now, we just don't have anything really good going on. Paradise doesn't come back into next year. We don't have any. The new Marvel movies don't come out until May. What's the next movie? Mickey 17 was good. If you have a chance, if you didn't watch it with us, Mickey 17 actually was good. It was good. Damn, TikTok lagging again. Yeah. I might even go on my look, since I can't go on my main account for my show. North Korea stole billions. Ooh, North Korea. The cryptocurrency exchange lost 1.5 billion to North Korea hackers last month. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Y'all keep investing your money in crypto. That's why I tell you, people don't have to take your money. Y'all do some stupid investing. I go buy up you all some crypto. Yeah, there is a new series on Netflix that I added to my list. It's got that one lady from. What's the name of the series, Rain? I'm back. Much better. All right. Lagging and stop. The second season of Beauty and Black is on Netflix now. I'm waiting for season three. Wait a minute. There's only one season of Beauty and Black. The season that ended with Horace and Nick and Kimmy announcing their marriage. The first season was just split up into two parts. It's 16 episodes in the first season. You're talking to a Beauty and Black expert. Yeah, Beauty and Black is 16 episodes first season. They just took a hiatus at episode 8 and they came back with episodes 8 through 16. The Residents, okay, I'm gonna look. Yeah, yeah, I can. Talking about Beauty and Black. It used to be talking about my show. Talking about my show. Yeah, yeah, and it's wild. Oh, what's up? Um, 7 minutes. Y'all let me go 7 minutes on GCPR. Y'all know I had to sign out. You all know DJ is waiting on Thursdays and Fridays. Y'all supposed to get me out on time. Hey DJ, what's up? GCPR. This is your boy TNathan. We're about to sign off and turn it over to DJ. And like I say, if you want to hear some more, we're going to be on just a little while longer. I'm waiting for Jay to get home and just chopping it up. If you enjoyed this weekend chop up so far, come on and join us. And if not, if you don't have a VPN that allows you to, access us in the United States, I will be back on Monday where we will be no telling what we were talking about. I used to could guess what we'll be talking about, but I have no clue until it happens. So we'll be wrapping up the weekend this Monday. All right, peace. All right, I'm out of GCPR. I told you it was 11:01. Yeah, but I'll be forgetting that I'm like DJ is waiting. You said we had to wait for Jay. Yeah, I mean I'm gonna stay live until Jay get home. But what's up, Robert? What's up, Robert? I'm gonna have to find I have to find a movie for Robert this weekend. I think we'll watch Electric Slate, whatever the name of the movie is. Robot movie. Yeah, getting ready. When the new what's come what came out this weekend? Anything good come out this weekend? Anything good come out this weekend? Let me go see if my movie. I gotta see if my video. I have to monitor my videos and see if they're still up. So let's see. Keep your hands and your microaggressions to yourself. Oh, they restored that video. All right, got that one restored. We're waiting on. Let's see. He passed away today. Wait a minute. Still sad he died, but what do you expect? Could have been too smart, and Trump loves uneducated. Hey, hold on. Somebody made a comment on my George Foreman video that he passed today. Do you all watch, like, do people really watch all my videos? Is that it? Is that it? People really don't watch all of my videos, right? You thought I was just talking about George Foreman today just for shits and giggles? Yeah. Yep, people, I'm convinced people don't watch my videos. I'm waiting. Anybody say something smart in the comment. Isn't Trump a convicted felon? Yes. It is so funny watching a convicted felon talk about calling immigrants illegal. That is hilarious. That is literally hilarious. Snow White came out. Oh yeah, we got we got Trump supporters mad about Snow White too. Did you hear him say he was going to run for president in 2028? I did you they have to introduce look, I have no fear that they will introduce legislation to try to overturn the constitution so he can run for president. I could say at this point, even though it's hilarious and we're gonna fight it, it's still hilarious. I'm not fighting against him becoming president. I'm trying to get I want a center named after him. So is Melania. The only kind of South Africans he likes are white South Africans. Yeah, my bestie was reminding and showing me today because I knew that they had extended it immigration. Um, they were extending TPS status to white South Africans. I didn't. I heard that some denied it, but it seems like it's 70,000. We might have 70,000 white South Africans in the country soon. Nothing like apartheid. If if he can, then Obama can. Listen, so we can't watch Snow White, but we can't. We can watch Snow White, but we can't watch T. Olivia, I'm kind of missing the parallel. I'm missing the parallel there. I'm sorry, but that means Clinton, Bush, and Obama can all run. Right. If they extended, that's what should happen, right? President Obama. Yeah, President Obama, and Clinton, and Clinton and Bush, they don't want it. They don't want no more of this. They too old. They too old. They don't want no more. Yeah, I don't think Obama, Michelle doesn't want to be first lady again anyway. So that might be the straw that breaks the camel's back. Michelle was like, "You go ahead to the White House. I am gonna hang out with my brother and do the podcast." It's not a party without a part time. Now, Rain, you sounded like parrot. You're talking like pirate, parrot. My pirate here. Yeah, they don't want no smoke. Listen, listen. Clinton don't want no smoke. No, well, Bill Clinton don't want no smoke. Hillary's still out. Hillary will still be giving smoke out. I'm saying, whatever I think about the Clintons, I do acknowledge that Hillary is the one that is actually the more aggressive of the two. Yeah, Hillary still wants smoke right now. She wants smoke right now. Yeah, Bill just want to sit down with some intern, half his age at least. Well, I can say a third his age now. That's still legal. Yeah. He just wants some intern to sit down with. But Hillary, Hillary wants all the smoke. Jay made it home. Jay is home. Yep. Our nephew is home. So, yeah. Anything else we laughing about before I go? I I will be on this weekend sometime. I'm sure. I've been another thing. My bestie bought me some books, so I've been reading. I've been reading, so maybe by Sunday I'll be on had enough reading. Plus, I read the Kennedy Files, and if you know me, you know I voracious reader, so I've been reading those. And what's up, Big Dre? What are we watching? What are we watching tonight? No, no, I want to finish reading my book. I want to finish reading my book tonight. I told you I got y'all this weekend. I'm gonna get you this. I got you this weekend. Um, uh, ow, ow. That's pain. Pain. I got y'all this weekend. Not to be funny, but do you think the segregation law is to scare us so we can start acting right? Another right? Nope. Let me tell you. I'm glad you mentioned that, Robert. Y'all see, I haven't talked about it. I haven't talked about it for a reason, right? But I will. I will say this. Um, y'all act like it's new. You all think we've been segregated since the end of Jim Crow, don't you? Oh, okay. This is the thing. Don't get me wrong. Legal sponsored segregation is bad. That is bad. But it's not so much that you should have been surprised this was the natural outcome. I told you all. When y'all listen to these people and they're trying to explain what diversity, equity, and inclusion programs are in the face of them saying DEI, I tell you, there's two different things. Uh, they're having these conversations talking about white women benefit the most from diversity, equity, and inclusion, and these programs and benefit this and that. And I'll be listening to them. They sound good, but that just goes to show you when I talk about pseudo intellect against true intellect sees through the proportions of pseudo intellectual arguments. See, they're arguing about what diversity, equity, and inclusion means when you the true conversation is what DEI is being used as. And to watch the systematic stripping and whitewashing of history is something that we've always seen. We just I think this shows you that you all have not made it anywhere as near as far as you all think you may. This administration is just showing you that the change is still there because you all are not fighting against the change. You all are fighting for an intellectual acceptance that you're never going to have as long as you compromise with bigots and racists. So when you talk about segregation, right? We have been segregated financially. We've been segregated by opportunity. We've been segregated by our idealisms that are targeted at blackness and otherness. So it's not new that you're going to dismiss with the federal protections, even though, let's be realistic, even though there are state and local. What I want to say, that's why I tell you local and state elections are so important to protect you from the wrath of the government as long as they can. But what you're going to see is when they start making local and federal and state laws, reversing the gains, then you're going to know who you're dealing with. That's all. And I'm just saying this no. Real intellect is using a big word I just found out about today. They just find a sneaky way to do it. Line with charter school. Right. All that is, listen, where have y'all been living the last 30 years? Because this is all in your face. This is all in your face. People talk about the slow erosion of rights. I want to know, just like I asked when they invited me to speak at Dr. King's memorial, when they were talking about Dr. King 50 years later, where do we go from here? I listened to everybody speak in front of me, and then I was like, where do you, it was NAACP, so I said Negroes. I said, where do you Negroes think we are now? Because they were talking, where do we go from here? And I said, you can't go anywhere from where you all are talking about because you all are not where you all think you all are. You're not there. The gains that you all think you all are celebrating are just illusions because they're compromising with your liberty and getting you used to slow stroking it. That's it. I will pontificate upon that point. That's good. Go pontificate. I mean, you just learning that word today. You've been on the word pontificate. Yeah, yeah. So understand, state-sponsored segregation is bad, but when have we actually benefited from the fruits and labors of being a desegregated society? Because crumbs are not a, or you're not benefiting from crumbs when you're responsible for taking all the bread to the table in the first place. You're not responsible for crumbs when you're the one taking all the bread to the table. If you wanted to eat, cut your bread out. We built the table, we supply the food, and we're starving. How are those three things true? How are the things true that marginalized groups of people built this country and we are the ones still supplying the food? We're like the Hunger Game. We're the districts. And we keep sending our best and brightest to the capital and wonder why we're hungry. You think I read Dune and don't know every fancy word? Yeah, that's a good point because Hubert, Frank Hubert, was about that life when it comes to long words with big words and long soliloquies. I got that's one I love. Dune. I love the series. The Lair of the White Worm is my favorite book in the series. But damn, Frank, you and Isaac Asimov, you all put some, y'all will string. That's how I learned soliloquies. Yeah, they will string some long ass soliloquies. I mean, if you were listening to them, you'd be like, no, but they're that good. I wouldn't say you would take a nap, but you'd be like, um, can I make a point? And they'd be like a page later, and they're still soliloquying. That's how Jordan Peterson thinks he sounds. I love the original movie too. I like the remake too. I like the ones that just came out last year and last 2 years. I like the remake. I like the original, but I like the remake. I like the series. Y'all they were watching the series with me, but I can't wait on y'all. Y'all don't be showing up. I'll be like, and then of course I'll be wanting to watch series at 3 o'clock in the morning because I'm like here, not sleeping. So I do a lot of binge watching between 2 and 5 in the morning. Yeah. All right, you all. It's 11:22. You all be safe. Let me wait a minute. Got a message. Let me make sure everything. Are we? Am I? It does. Yes, yes, Olivia. When it comes out, we will watch Lilo and Stitch. Is that the live action? Is that or is that the that's the the live action or is that the third one? Oh, that's the one where they're complaining about they didn't get they they got someone to play the part and they had to give her a tan. They had to give her a tan, and then they were like, "Why didn't you just cast a Hawaiian that was darker?" Yeah, I feel that way. If you're going to cast somebody and let them be themselves, that's one thing. But if you're going to cast them and give them a spray tan to play the character, because her one thing about Lilo and Stitch, do you all recognize? Did you all really watch it and understand how her color was relevant to the storyline? No movie means another shower video. Well, sometimes you just got to pop out and show them. Yeah, let me tell you, I do those videos because I do videos like that. It's not because I can at 57. I do. I do those videos because I'm 57. I am happy to be 57, but I'll be looking at people be talking, and I'll be like, let me show you what I don't get it confused. Don't get it confused. I am a fully invested grown ass man, and I can be grown at times. Yeah, of course, right. It's relevant. So yeah, I pop out do one of the blurred glow up videos because I know some mediocre white men at 57 are looking at me and be like, "He's not 57." Be like, "I would knock your ass out too, right out the shower." I would get out the shower, knock you out, and get back in the shower and wash it off. Grandmother, if he makes another shower video, where do you think I get the jeans from? Where do you think I get the jeans from? Yeah, y'all, I'm gonna tell you when y'all be talking about saying something to grandmother and mother about something I do. You remember, y'all need to see some of the pictures they be showing from back in the day. Listen, don't let them old women fool you. These old women had the little waves in their hair and the shimmy dresses going to Harlem in 1930. Don't let them fool you. Yeah, you still snitching, but that come by it. Listen, I come by it naturally. I didn't steal it. Listen, I remember seeing a picture of my mother, and she was in a black. I was like, we had albums then. You didn't have them on your phone. I've digitalized a lot of them since then, but you would be flipping through the family album. You're like, who is this? And when she didn't want to answer, I knew it was her. I was like, oh, look at here. Look at here. This how you looked in 1965, 2 years before I was born, huh? Yeah. And don't be talking about music. Y'all be people be talking about music today. Listen, listen. Mom's Mabley would tell jokes that would put a lot of you all to shame. And Bessie Earl had some songs where she didn't even hint around the bush. Well, literally, she didn't hint around the bush. She went straight to the bush. Yeah, they were getting down. Y'all act like them juke joints were churches if you want to. Yeah, we didn't get here because, yeah. Y'all act like people be like acting like, oh, they weren't like, yeah, they were just like this. They were just like this. Anything you can hear in a song today, you could have heard in a song 60 years ago in Harlem or anywhere, any speakeasy around the country. Tina wouldn't. You think y'all didn't know what Nutbush was talking about? Y'all acting new. Yeah, there is a place called Nutbush, Tennessee, but yeah. Yeah. So y'all act new if you want to. Y'all have a beautiful weekend, and like I say, I'll be on the main page doing something. I won't be doing ODS. Have a good night. I'm glad y'all enjoyed hanging out tonight. Like I said, we're gonna do more Fridays like this, so we can laugh and joke and release some of the stress that we go through the week. Unwind. We can unwind and still know we're still gonna be fighting. So, yeah, this is we're like Zion, right? Y'all remember Zion in the Matrix? Yeah, they were fighting for their lives every day, but the minute they got a breather, that music kick in, and we grinding. All right, you